Let's play quietly.
Hey everybody, this is Brian here from Let's Play Quietly, and for the first time in a long time, I am playing Dark Souls 3 again. This is Molly Metalhead, who is my strength build character, and if you have been following my playthrough at all, and I know it's been a while, I am in the Profaned Capital, and the boss of this area is Yhorm the Giant. So, in this video, I'm going to speed things up a bit in a couple minutes because this is basically me clearing the level and going to the final boss fight. So, I didn't want to bore you too much with it, but we start off, and you can see that there are 4 handmaids down there. They are jailer's handmaids, and they are around a giant bowl of fire, in which they are summoning giant fireballs out of it to destroy me. And I was trying to initially snipe at them from far away, but my arrows, I don't have the range on this bow, so I was trying to take a few shots at them without getting roasted alive, and it really wasn't working. So what I want to do is I want to go down this bridge, but as you'll see in a moment, this bridge is guarded by a large gargoyle, and that gargoyle is wielding a spear that is like a fire spear. So I have to worry about him, and I have to worry about the handmaids. So I'm just trying to lure him to me so that I can fight him, not on the bridge. And I almost got myself killed there, but I eventually get him to pay attention to me and come over here, because I didn't want to deal with the fireball and the gargoyle at the same time. So now that I have his attention, he's going to come at me with an air attack, and he kind of dives at me. And this is where the wonky camera of the Soul series can be a real pain in the butt, but as long as I don't make any humongous mistakes, I should be okay. So I took him down, and now I'm going to speed things up a little bit so you'll see the video kind of fast forward, because what I'm doing now is crossing the bridge into an area where there are a lot more handmaids and more gargoyles. So over here I have 4 handmaids, and I was trying to snipe them, but when you aggro one, they start chasing you up the stairs, so I was trying to pick them off one by one without getting the whole group to come after me. But if you're not careful, then you will garner the attention of the gargoyle who is guarding this area as well, which is exactly what I did. So you'll see in a minute that I've upset the gargoyle. There he is. He's coming over, and he is right below this ledge that I am on. So now I have to worry about the gargoyle, and I have to worry about the handmaids. And my goal was to do a couple of plunging attacks on the gargoyle and hopefully take him out. But at one point, I ended up getting one of the handmaids after me as well. But I had previously shot her with an arrow, so she was easy to take down. So now I'm whittling down this gargoyle, and I think I ended up taking him down. But I'm wasting precious Estus flasks. And now, of course, I still have this last one. So I take her down. So I've cleared out this first room here, but as you'll see, there are a bunch more handmaids that are across the way. So I am systematically luring them out one at a time and taking them down while trying not to end up using a lot of Estus. I think the sword that I'm using is the Wolf Greatsword or something like that. It's one of the ones that I had basically built with the soul of one of the bosses. And my bow is like a standard short bow plus 2 or 3 or whatever. So it doesn't have the best range, and it doesn't do a ton of damage. But it's effective in kind of poking at enemies and luring them toward you. Now the boss area is not far from here, but I'm trying to clear out the enemies. Because my goal was to see if I could summon in some help. As you know, in the Dark Souls and Demon Souls series, you can basically become fully human, and when you're in that state, you can then summon in people to help you if they have dropped their summon sign near a particular area. So my hope was to clear out all the enemies. And you'll see there's these handmaids that were out by the big ball of fire. I still have to deal with them. My goal was to clear them all out and then try to summon in some help. Because the boss that I'm fighting is a giant. And the last time I played this game, about 4 months ago, I had died in my attempt to beat him. So this was literally the first time I'm playing this game in about 4 months. So I wanted to kind of take it slow and make sure that I had cleared out the area. Now I'm using the spear that I took from one of the gargoyles. One of them dropped it, and so it's not a bad weapon, but it's not as powerful as the sword I was using. But I figured I'd give it a shot. It was kind of cool. So I still have a handmaid left to deal with. And there's another one down here. They're kind of roaming around. So again, dealing with her. Picking up, I forget what it was. Might have been like an antique coin or something. Or a rusted coin. I'm thinking of Resident Evil. So I go in and kill this last one, but as I go over there, I realize that there is another gargoyle to deal with. So I'm switching back to my sword so that I can deal with the gargoyle. Because I really don't want to take any chances messing around with a new weapon when these enemies are perfectly capable of killing me. So I'm just trying to stay out of the way of major damage, and I didn't do the best job of that because I'm wasting more Estus. But I used a couple of healing spells, and here we go again. And I managed to take him down, and now it's on to the handmaid. Now the reason I didn't go for those chests right there is because they are mimics. So, and I didn't want to fight them and risk dying at this point. So right here, I end up using a ember to like fully kindle myself so that I can summon people in. The problem with that is there is no one to summon in. I waited quite a while, and I skipped this part so you wouldn't have to watch it. But I waited quite a while trying to get somebody to come in, but nobody showed up, so I decided finally to go after it on my own. So here's my first attempt at taking down Yhorm. And the souls that I dropped 4 months ago are still sitting there. Now, the key here is that behind Yhorm, up by his throne, and you'll see me run up there, there is a sword that is from the original Demon Souls game. It's the Storm Ruler sword, or a version of it. And this sword has a wind-based attack that causes a lot of damage to giants. But the problem was, I would have to go into my menu to equip it. And as you can see already, Yhorm is very fast for his size. And so every time I go into my menu, the game is not pausing. He is coming after me. I thought I could sneak behind his throne, and I got myself cornered. So this first attempt at fighting Yhorm is going horribly. And I end up just taking a couple shots at his feet before he finishes me off. So keep in mind, I just spent a half hour clearing out this level so that I could fight Yhorm. And my first attempt here is pretty sad, because I haven't even equipped that sword yet. And once again, I'm going to try to equip it. But there's just no time. So that first run in getting the sword is almost like, you know you're going to die. I've done no damage to him, pretty much at all. So all that time I spent was a waste. So here we are for attempt number 2. And I basically just ran down here. I'll show you in a few minutes how I got back here. So the second time I have the sword equipped, but it takes a while to charge. Watch it, see that little burst? That means that it's charged. So every time you use this sword to attack, it has to charge up. Now what I did not realize is that it is not a long-ranged attack. You have to be close to use it. So I wasted my first try, and I'm just trying to charge it up, and I cannot get enough time to charge the stupid sword up. So once again, I'm not off to a good start. I end up just missing on those attacks and end up like striking at his feet. But this entire time I haven't landed one of the powerful attacks from this sword on him yet. And of course it's terrifying when you have a giant using a gigantic machete to try and cut you in half. And I keep striking without having the sword fully charged up. That's why I'm not doing any real damage. And things are getting pretty dire. I almost had it charged up at that point. Watch him close on me with this move. He just runs right at you. And then he has sweeping attacks as well, so it's very hard to stay out of his way. Your best bet is to try and get through his legs and behind him. But again, no time for me to charge the sword, so I pretty much botched this whole thing, and he kills me again. So, here we go for round 3. And you'll see how I get down to the boss, so I'm not going to bother fighting any of the enemies that I wasted my time with before. My goal now is to get the attention of the gargoyle so that he will come at me and I can run by him, and to time my run so that I don't get hit by any of those fireballs. So, I'm trying to pick my spot here, and I'm just waiting for the gargoyle to notice me. And here he comes. But he'll turn around if you don't get his attention, and you gotta wait for him to come back up again, like he did right there. So I had to run forward a bit, but here he comes. And I'm just running. So here I go. Running down the bridge. Once I get inside this area, I'm going to run right by the handmaidens and the gargoyle, because I don't want to waste any of my energy or healing So I drop down here. I drop down one more time, and I'm just making a beeline for that room on the left, right here. Okay, now I'm back at the fog gate, so this is attempt number 3 to fight Yhorm the Giant. I'm kinda starting to figure out the sword now. It's charged up, you can see him. And I'm just waiting, hoping to get a first shot in before he kills me. And I missed. I missed with my first attack, so once again, trying to charge up the sword. And it's ready. And boom. Now that time, I hit him, and look at how much energy it took off, about 1/5 of his health. So this is how you have to beat him. And I just need to have time to charge that sword up. And you'll see I did it again. But I missed the attack and he had already killed me. And then I walked right into another one. So that's 3 times he's killed me now. So, will the 4th time be the charm? We shall see. I have to tell you that fight is terrifying because between the music and the size of the boss, which is what Dark Souls does so well, it is a very harrowing fight. Even on your 4th attempt. Also because you don't want to screw it up and you're just hoping you don't have to do it again. So we have to go through here again. And just when I think I have the pattern down and everything's cool, this game reminds me that you have to be on alert at all times. So here I go, I'm gonna run under the gargoyle, and I get hit with a freaking fireball. So now the gargoyle's right behind me. So I'm sprinting, hoping that he's not gonna catch me. And I make it in. So again, I'm ignoring everybody else in here. I am dropping down. I'm just gonna run straight to the boss room and go right through the fog gate. And here we go. Attempt number 4 for Yhorm the Giant. And I charge up the sword, and I wait for him to come at me. And you're going to see an attack in here that I don't think we've seen yet. Now, I hit him. However, you'll notice that he hit me as well, so the good news is that he's not interrupting my attack, even though he's hitting me, so I'm still getting it off. But he's taking off a huge amount of damage. Here's the... oh no, that's not it. He has a lunging punch move that he does that's brutal. Here we go again. Boom, and I hit him, but he hit me. So I have to be really careful not to get myself killed. There's the punch move, look at that. He just lunges at you from across the room. So now I have to Estus and charge the sword up. So I'm hoping to charge now. And boom. And I got him again. So now we're about 2 hits away, 2 or 3, from being able to stop him. Here's that punch move again, and he got me again with it. That move is brutal. I think you see it in the second part of the fight because he sort of evolves. You see he's wrapped in flames now. But I got him again, so one more if I can stay alive should do it. But that's the key, staying alive. He just knocked me over again. Can I stop him? yes, Yhorm the Giant finally falls. Now normally, you'll see a bonfire show up, but here we went to a cutscene instead. And what's happening is you're sort of being teleported to Euphoric Castle, to a place that we've been before, to see an NPC that we've seen before. I believe her name is Emma. And so I was a little nervous here because I really just wanted to get back to Firelink Shrine. I didn't want to lose any of these souls that I had earned for beating this boss, because it was about 40,000. So I was hoping we would see a bonfire right here. But as I teleported in, or was transported to this new area, there was not a bonfire. In fact, it's pretty much the exact opposite of a bonfire, because instead of a bonfire, as you'll see in a moment, I teleported into another boss fight, which you're not going to see because I got the heck out of there. But you'll see this NPC is saying, Prince Euphoric is in your hands. Please save his soul. Tell him what he must be, a lord. And she hands you a basin. And then clearly you're supposed to approach this altar with the statue. So I did that, hoping to find like a secret passage to a bonfire, and instead, what I got was the doors closing behind me as one of the toughest bosses in the game started to drop down from the ceiling. It's the dancer of the Boreal Valley, who I will fight in another video. But as soon as I realized what was happening, I said, hell no. And you can see her almost being birthed from the darkness and falling onto the floor. So I was immediately searching for a homeward bone, which is an artifact that lets you get back to the last bonfire that you saved at. So you'll see me teleport out of here, and we'll do this boss fight another night. But that is the Profaned Capital. So if you like this video, then please click like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And I will be back again soon with more Dark Souls 3, because I am back in the zone with this game and I want to finish it.